almost the end of February. You haven't had a chance to even compile all the discovery. You don't believe that you'll be able to be ready by a June 3rd date. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, yeah.
State, what's your position?
Yeah, we fully understand that. We didn't realize, because we have an agreement with the SPDs to send it to them and that they will redact because they have employees that will redact. So they never redacted the original discovery, so they didn't want to give the original discovery to Mr. Arnold. So that caused us to then start redacting it. And so I hope this week he'll at least get what we gave the SPD redacted. We've had substantial discovery come in since then that has to be reviewed and redacted as well. That's why there's going to be 2 of them. So we have no objection to a November date.
So we're starting kind of from scratch.
We are.
All right. Mr. Davis, you're aware of everything that's going on. You've talked to Mr. Arnold about the necessity to continue this case.
I was wondering about the 21-day window.
For filing of the writ of habeas corpus?
Yes.
I think there was an agreement between your previous counsel and the state that it would be extended. When was that to elapse?
January 25th.
So it looks like that has already been closed.
I don't get another shot at it.
No, generally it's a statutorily set amount of time. And then if there's an agreement to extend it and you agree within that time, but once it closes forever, unfortunately.
I hired a new counsel.
When did Mr. Arnold sub in?
Came in like the 21st of January.
Okay, if that's something that the parties want to discuss, but other than that, absent a stipulation, there's not much I can do about that elapsed date, unfortunately. All right, so we are talking about then changing the trial. You were saying November?
Yeah, early November would be.
Let me look. November 4th.
That would work.
Does that work for you, Mr. Arnold?
Was that the 14th?
4th.
4th? Yeah.
Okay. Based on representations made by counsel, I do find that there is good cause to continue this trial. I will vacate the June 3rd trial date and the May 28th calendar call and reset it for November 4th, 2024 at 9 a.m. with a calendar call of October 29th at 9 a.m. as well. Did you want to do a status check on discovery, Mr. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. We could do 60 days from today.
Okay, any objection?
No.
We'll do a 60-day status check. That date will be?
It'll be April 23rd at 9 a.m.
All right, we'll see everyone back. We'll see you back at that time, Mr. Davis. Yeah.
Hey, I got family that's hesitant to come in here to help me out on the field because of the media and the circuit that's going on. And they want to know if they do it privately or file an affidavit or something.
Anything that Mr. Arnold wants to bring to my attention, he can put on calendar if there's an issue regarding security or anything like that for some sort of source hearing. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something I can consider, but ultimately without it in front of me, I can't consider it. I need to have that in writing.
Well, making sure that there's a lot of people turning me down because of these people here.
Okay. If there's some sort of motion, Mr. Arnold, all you'd have to do is lay out a compelling reason why it couldn't be done in open court.
Right.
And I can make a decision on that.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 8, Marcus Smith, C380422. Hi, Mr. Smith. All right. I'm good. He is present in custody, represented by Ms. Mocknick, as well as Ms. Salceda from the Special Public Defender's Office. And this is your case, state?
Yes, Your Honor. Marcela Leon for the state.
All right. This is on for a status check trial setting. Did you guys discuss trial dates?
We did, Your Honor. We spoke with Ms. Leon this morning. Our request would be to set this somewhere in November. I don't know if the state has any opposition to that. That's fine.
Okay. November 18th, does that work for the parties?
That will work.
It's like the full week and then Thanksgiving's the next week. Does that sound good?
Don't know if it will be done before Thanksgiving, if that's it. Given that, can we have a week prior?
I have 4 cases set the week before. I could do December 2nd.
That works.
You want to do that? Does that work for the state? Okay, we'll do December 2nd, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. with a calendar call of December 26th at 9 a.m. We'll do a status check in 60 days just to make sure discovery is progressing, any sort of expert issues or anything that comes up.
It's calendar call is November 26th or December?
No, November 26th.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No,
If I said December,
that's okay.
that wouldn't work. You're right. And then we'll do a 60-day from today status check.
April 23rd at 9 a.m. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me get my calendar in order, so I'm. Billy Hemsley, C 369-657. Mr. Hemsley is present in custody. Hi, sir. Do we have? Mr. Patrick, there he is. Okay. All right, we have Mr. Patrick appearing for Mr. Hensley, and we have Ms. Wackerly appearing for the state. This case appears to have been negotiated. Is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and state the negotiations for the record then.
Your Honor, I should have made a copy of my own
Oh,
copy.
okay, well, I can read it then. All right, it looks like he's pleading guilty to 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempt murder. The agreement is as follows. The first-degree murder will be a sentence of 20 to 50 years. Defendant agrees to a sentence of 30 months to 180 months for each count of attempt murder. The sentences on each count will run consecutive to each other for a total combined sentence of 25 to 80 years, Nevada Department of Corrections. All remaining counts which were bound over to district court will be dismissed when he's adjudged guilty and sentenced. It'll be concurrent to his present case.
Correct.
Is that all accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'll write for you, Mr. Patrick. All right, Mr. Hemsley, is that your understanding of the negotiations?
That's
What's your true and full name?
Billy DeRay Hemsley,
How old are you, sir?
56,
How far did you go in school?
graduated.
So it's
High
fair to,
school.
you graduated high school. So is it fair to say then that you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication today? Is that a yes or a no?
No, man.
Okay. Do you understand you're being charged with first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempt murder?
Yes.
How do you plead to those 3 charges? Guilty or not guilty?
Yes.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty? Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes.
Do you understand that count 1 carries either 20 to 50 years in prison, 20 to life, or life without the possibility of parole? Do you understand those potential penalties for that charge?
Yes.
Do you also understand that count 2 and 3 are identical and they each carry 2 to 20 years, Nevada Department of Corrections? Do you understand those potential penalties? Do you understand that sentencing is strictly up to the court, so nobody can promise you probation means your special treatment? Do you further understand that count 1 is not probationable? Let's see. I do have a copy of your guilty plea agreement in front of me. On page 6, your name is signed. Did you sign this document?
Yeah.
Before you signed it, did you go over it with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did your attorney answer all your questions that you had about this case before you signed off on this document?
Yes.
Did your attorney or anyone else force or threaten you in any way to make you sign off on this document?
No.
Do you understand that you are giving up the constitutional rights that are listed in this guilty plea agreement by pleading guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could result in negative immigration consequences to you? Did you discuss your case and your rights with your attorney?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me regarding your case or your rights? Is that a yes or a no?
No.
She's just writing down everything that's said, so I just want to make sure we have an accurate legal record. All right, the amended information in this case reads as follows. On or about August 4th, 2022, in Clark County, State of Nevada, contrary to the form, force, and effect of statutes in such cases made and provided, and against the peace and dignity of the state of Nevada. Count 1, you did willfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and with malice aforethought, kill Arcturus Milner, a human being, by discharging a firearm to the body of Arcturus Milner. The said killing having been willful, deliberate, and premeditated. Count 2, you did willfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and with malice aforethought attempt to kill Octavia Milner and or Nariel Mapa, human beings, by discharging the firearm at and into the bodies of the said Octavia Milner and or Nariel Mapa and or Nariel Mapa, human beings, by discharging the firearms into the said body of those 2 people. Are those the facts that cause you to plead guilty today, sir?
Yes.
And there is a factual basis for this plea, and it is freely and voluntarily entered. At this time, we are going to refer the case to the Department of Parole and Probation for preparation of a PSI, and we'll set it down for sentencing on the following date.
That'll be April 2nd at 9 a.m.
And this was on for a status check trial setting, so that won't be necessary any further. The only date that remains will be that sentencing.
Very good. Thank
All
you, Your
right,
Honor.
thank you, sir. We'll see you back.
Sentencing day? I didn't hear.
April 2nd.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving to page 3, Javon Chino, C358426. Hey, Ms. Trevino. She's present in custody with Mr. Kane. And this is your case, Mr. Giordani?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is on for a motion to, or status check trial readiness. You did file a motion to continue. Is that
Yes.
accurate?
It was anticipated. I'd announced at the last status check that I'd probably be filing it. I flew it by Mr. Giordani before filing. I believe the state has no objection.
Who's taking over the matter for you?
I don't know. That's why I asked that the trial date be vacated today and the calendar call date of April the 10th be maintained as a status check trial setting. We'll
Okay.
know by then, and you can set a date based on whoever that schedule is.
Okay. Mr. Giordani, what's the state's position regarding this motion to continue?
That's all fine, no objection to the motion to continue. I prefer it be a little sooner that they find out who's gonna take over, just so we can grab a trial date, but if that's what.
So are you
If I
gonna
find
say-
out sooner, I'll let Mr. Giordani know. It's all kind of in flux right now
Sure.
because there's a lot of other personnel changes in our office besides mine.
So
it's
you're
kind of a-
staying on the case though until your retirement of,
Yes.
in May?
Yes.
So it's not like she'll be unrepresented until
Oh, no,
that
no,
period?
no.
Okay,
No,
you're gonna
she will let
continue
no
working
client
on
be
this?
without counsel.
Okay, sounds good. That's my only concern.
Sure.
All right, I'm inclined to grant the motion to continue. Let me check in with Mr. Trevino. Were you made aware of this issue with Mr. Kane retiring?
I let her know about the expert thing and possible change of counsel, but we discussed that this morning. We'll discuss it further.
Okay, all right, just making sure you're still on board. All right, perfect. At this time, given everything that's laid out as well as the additional testing that needs to be done, I will grant the motion to continue. I'm going to vacate the 4/9 calendar call as well as the 4/15 jury trial date. And you're asking for a 4/10 status check on,
I thought
Yeah,
that
second.
calendar call was 4:10. If it's 4:9,
it is 4/9, we'll do
let's
4/9.
use that name.
We'll do status, is that okay with the state? Status check, resetting of trial, 4/9.
Thank you.
And at that point, will we have more information about how long this expert will take?
I
It is.
believe so, although there's several rounds of funding that's involved, so I know in a general sense how long it's gonna take, but I don't know that we'll be prepared to commit the deadlines right at that April 9th.
Okay, it was just sort of, I just wasn't sure how long that would take ultimately based on the motion.
In my experience, that particular process takes anywhere from 6 months at a minimum to 8 or 9 months at a maximum.
Okay,
It
thank you.
was started in January.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll see you guys back at that time. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vino. Page 5. Page 5, Brandon Jocelyn, C363907. Mr. Jocelyn is present in custody with Mr. Sheik. Who do we have for the state? Oh, as well as Mr. Modafferi, sorry.
Morning, Jen. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And we do have Ms. Fleck for the state. Okay, we are on for a status check trial readiness. Additionally, this was initially on for the motion to dismiss. However, my indication from the parties was that we were going to pause the hearing on the motion to collect. The defense isn't going to file a reply brief, and there was going to be a disclosure of a pin for the panel.
That's true, Judge, exactly.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sheik is arranging that a technician be present, hopefully when the pin is displayed to the technicians from the state so that everyone can see whether or not it's accessible.
Okay, so
we are just trying to coordinate. The COPS device is obviously has been impounded. So we're just gonna see if we can use the pin to open it. They'd like their expert to be present. So I'm trying to coordinate with Metro to make sure that happens or that we have an answer for why it can't.
and so the plan at that point is for them to produce the pin at that time, not.
Apparently,
Okay,
they have not given it.
okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna let Mr. Sheik disclose the pin. It's not like it's any big thing, Judge, but the thing is, the reason why we wanted to pause the hearing obviously is because the facts are still fluid. And the law remains the same, but the facts change, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sheik, anything you want to add?
No, Your Honor, not on that issue. We'll disclose at the time when we open up to.
Okay, sounds good. And then regarding the status check trial readiness, is there anything we wanted to weigh in on?
I don't think we're gonna be ready in May, Your Honor. There's still a lot of things that need to be done.
Okay.
That includes mitigation, and we have the ongoing thing with the Cox box. And there's some other issues that we're working on, but I don't think we're gonna be ready to go on the May date. We'll file a formal motion.
Sounds good. Did you want to do a continued status check then on the issue regarding the PIN and the Cox?
That will be fine.
Okay, how long?
Let's do 30 days.
30 days? All right, that'll be,
That'll be March 19th at 9 a.m.
all
Thank
right.
you.
And you think that'll be enough time to get
I do.
this appointment done? Okay, perfect. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
We'll have more information.
We had discovery was a matter last time. You said we'd address it today.
What's the discovery issue?
Voluminous amount of discovery,
What's the issue?
So basically, I have not been able to go through a lot of the electronic devices such as the tablets. Maldonado claims are taken away and put up. The children were on it the whole time. There's the phone dumps from my phone and Maldonado's phone, which contain the Cox apps, which contain 3 months worth of video footage. If that has been tampered with, the metadata will show. There's a lot, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn to your counsel real quick.
Yep.
Do you have those items?
We have a number of those items, Your Honor. Some of those items don't exist. That's one of the reasons why we're not going to be ready in May is we're still working on these issues with Mr. Toslin's desire to see every bit of information on the case, which of course is his right. We're trying to accommodate him in doing so.
Okay, I was just trying to
do
figure out, is it an issue of missing discovery or is it an issue of getting like an investigator over there to show him all these items?
There are things that are missing, Your Honor, and I've communicated specifically having to do with 4 tablets that were impounded at the time of the search of the house, but only 2 are impounded in evidence. So we have 2 tablets that are missing. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about tablets.
Okay,
We're trying to resolve and find out where those tablets went. There were 4 children, there were 4 tablets. 2 tablets are missing, 2 tablets are with the police in the evidence vault. The 4 tablets were photographed and 4 tablets were on the search warrant return. So there's a disconnect there somewhere. These are all issues we're working through.
Your Honor, when I was first arrested, I spoke on the phone with acquaintances and informed them of the PIN. There's a search warrant for the Cox panel, that is. There's a search warrant where they're listening to all my phone calls, obviously, right? So they were aware of the PIN. Not only that, I have the same PIN for everything. Maldonado was aware of this as well. So the fact that they're claiming they have not entered that is a lie. I brought up several issues with my attorney.
I think what he's trying to convey, Judge, is the police must have learned through surveilling his phone calls, and they must have inputted it, but we don't know that for a fact that
Correct.
Ms. Fleck hasn't let on to that happening at any point.
So, Your Honor, one of the things I wanted to make you aware of is that I've been informing my attorney of these things for a year now. I've been arrested for 730 days. I have yet to see any of this extremely marital discovery that pertains to misconduct from the state. I will just say this, and I'll leave it at this. Last week was the first time I saw a glimpse of what they allege is the phone dump. In my phone, none of that. So there's some kind of tampering. It's not the original discovery which I'm entitled to. There's some things going on here that need to be addressed. I'll put it on motion.
well, that you have to do that through your attorneys.
I'll file a motion to dismiss counsel. I can do that.
It sounds like they're working through these things as best
Yeah,
they
Your
can.
Honor, I've informed them of these things for a year now, and if you
Your Honor,
look back at the
if we need to
transcripts,
have a
there's many
Hernandez.
things we have not touched base on. That throughout the proceedings, they say, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, such as go to the evidence and check out the vault. They just barely got around to that, like, what, a week or 2 ago. There's much of this, Your Honor. I haven't heard of my witnesses, my statements. There's so much. I'm not gonna continue to waste your time here. I'll file a motion to dismiss and we can touch base on it then.
I'm just telling you that replacing your attorneys continually
Oh,
isn't
I
going to get
understand
you the
that.
result that you're hoping for, which is a faster trial. So I'm just telling you
I
that
just wanna see this.
it sounds like they're trying to work through everything.
I just wanna see this material evidence, that's all.
Okay,
And
and you're going to have an investigator bring that over to them in increments?
Your Honor, this needs to have a young hearing outside the presence of the state. However, when he files his motion, we can have that hearing. I will, however, state that there is a laptop and a solid state drive that's been provided to Mr. Toslin numerous times by counsel and by the investigator and by the mitigation specialist, wherein he can view all of the discovery that's been provided in this case. That includes the Celebrite extractions on both of the phones that he's complaining about. Mr. Toslin apparently was unable to navigate through the Celebrite system in order to view that. On Friday, I walked him through the process to look at that and where to look at things on the Celebrite extraction. All of that has been available.
Your Honor, I've informed my attorney that it was not a matter of the format, even though they have it very complex, right? It was a matter of the Celebrite not loading within the 30-minute time frame that this PI is coming to visit me. They could easily took this information and downloaded it to the laptop, but they chose not to because they were tampering with it, given the fact that last time I addressed.
I'm gonna stop you.
I addressed it. This is a compelling need.
You need to file a motion, and this is something that you probably don't want to put on the record in front of the state.
Your Honor, it is what it is.
You keep wanting to do this in front of the cameras, in front of the state, but you're affecting your ability
I need to
to
address the
defend this
court.
case.
I need to address the court. I need it on record. Speaking of the record, Your Honor, there are transcripts that aren't even transcribed properly. Clerical error or not, it needs to be addressed. I've been told my attorney this stuff for the longest, and it's beating a dead horse.
Okay, file a motion for a Young hearing, and we'll address that outside the presence. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Page 9, Tyshawn Tillman, C 378339.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Tillman, welcome to DC2. This looks like our initial arraignment and status check trial setting. Mr. Meningo, you are counsel of record?
Yes, Your Honor, good morning.
All right, and Ms. Mercer has been on this case. So we already have a trial date that we're going to have to give you. I understand that might be difficult, and I understand that you might need some time to get up to speed, but
Thank you.
we'll give you that date, and I understand
Yes, for the time
that
being.
once we get everybody together, we can address that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So it's set for a trial date of 6/24/24 with the calendar call of 6/18/24. We'll do a status check about, let's do like 60-day status check, and I can put Mr. Perez Stubbs on at that time too, so that we can all address whether that remains a realistic date. So we'll do a 60-day status check.
Thanks, Your Honor.
That'll be April 23rd at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your
And
Honor.
then it's the number 1 or the number 2 codefendant needs to be put on.
Number one.
Okay, we'll have to put the number 1 codefendant on as well, Mr. Perez Stubbs. Okay,
you, Judge.
Thank
is
you,
there
Your Honor.
anything that we need to address at this time, Mr. Meningo?
For now, no.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you, Mr. Tillman. Page 4, Jason Stelmann, C 371943.
One, John.
Hi, Mr. Spellman.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rachel O'Halloran on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Mason Polsky on behalf of Mr. Spellman.
Okay, we are on for a status check trial readiness. I note that this is our first status check after the trial setting. We have a trial set for May 28th. How are we doing on discovery?
We're doing fine. Your Honor, in my notes, I have June 4th. I'm saying the trial date is.
Let me look.
I have May 28th.
We have a lot of different dates. Does that not work for you, Mr. Yampolsky?
I'll make it work.
Okay. So what I have right now is a calendar call of 5/21/24 with a trial date of 5/28/24.
Your Honor, can we move the calendar call 2 days because I'm gonna be out of the jurisdiction on the 23rd.
So I only have Tuesday dates for homicide calendar or criminal at all. I could move it back a week.
I'm gonna be out of the jurisdiction. Leave it that day.
You're free to appear via Blue Jeans if that works better. Or
Okay,
sorry,
thank you.
Zoom. We don't do Blue Jeans anymore, but
Right.
the same
The
electronic,
21st. That's a Monday or Tuesday?
the Tuesday. Are you missing anything that you want to put on record?
I don't believe so. I mean, I think we have everything.
I believe that's accurate as well. We should have everything at this point, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there anything additional that we need to discuss today, Mr. Yampolsky?
I don't believe so. We're planning to do a settlement conference, but we have plenty of time to do that.
Okay, I'll do then a status check about 1 month out from trial, which gets us to April 16th at 9 a.m. That'll be our final status check before calendar call and going forward with the trials. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Schillen. Are we ready on Coleman and Caver?
Yes, Your Honor.
Page 1 and 2, C 355642. Mr. Dean Coleman and Mr. John Caver, both present in custody. Mr. Coleman is present with, for Mr. Scro's office, remind me of your name?
Zachary Peck, 16127.
So sorry about that, Mr.
Always.
Peck. And then Ms. Allen for Mr. Caver on page 2. We have Mr. Palal from the state. This is on for a status check trial readiness. Let's start with page 1. You're fairly recent to the case. Any discovery, have you gotten everything from prior counsel?
Yes, I got prior counsel. We did a file review a few weeks ago. There was going to be, I think, a check-in with the detective to see if there's anything about CIs. I think Your Honor had granted a discovery motion a long time ago, so I think we're still looking into that. That is much.
Okay.
That's correct. We did a file review in my office, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was the looked like from our review of that was the one outstanding issue. So I will check with the detective. If there is any CIs, the state's plan going forward is to present that information in camera for the court to review and to determine whether or not that needs to be disclosed.
Okay, we'll address that as that comes up. Ms. Allen?
At this point, I don't believe there's anything outstanding. There's been discussions with my client about some motions we're gonna file, but other than that, that's not obviously related to Mr. Palal. So, everything that I had requested previously, he provided.
Oh,
And so, so if there's anything else, obviously I'll reach out to him, but I think I have everything.
I think at some point you had filed a discovery motion. We'd adjudicated a few of the issues, but other than that, it seemed like you guys were working well toward a resolution of all those issues.
He got me everything that my specific request on the discovery motion. Now, obviously I join in anything related to a CI, obviously, but yeah, everything else. But I think that was addressed in my motion as well.
It was.
And you know, obviously, just a record, anything I turn over to Mr. Peck, I'll turn over to Ms. Allen and vice versa.
Perfect. All right, let's do a status check, one final one before trial of August 20th at 9 a.m. Obviously, if there's motions and other things that come up, that'll get us on the calendar much sooner.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. That's it for calendar.